Hello, and welcome to Maidens of the Spear, where we talk about the Wheel of Time, and we have a really good time.
A really good time. A
And
really good time.
Mary Lou, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about episode 1 of
What
The Wheel of Time, Leave Taking.
episode 1? Wait, there's
Mhm.
a Wheel of Time TV show?
There sure is, and baby,
Oh,
we're gonna talk about it.
we're going to talk about it. Episode 1.
You see what we've come here to do? It's a gift. You should thank me, really.
He's in chains.
This power
Oh,
It might
It's
just
meant
be
for
his
women.
outfit.
just decorative.
and women alone. And when you touch it, you make it filthy.
Please. No.
Sisters,
No.
Oh, see, this is where she uses her ring. Okay.
I've just changed my Aja to
You're-
filthy Aja.
So you're a filthy Aja.
I'm filthy Aja. That line to me is so extra, but in a way that I like.
I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, a lot of this, the first 2 episodes, there are a lot of things that are extra, but that one I think was like extra in a perfect way. Is this person who we know is Leandrin and we know is Leandrin, this person hates men. This person is a misandrist. Is this
yeah.
anti-male propaganda? Yes. Like she says,
make
when
it
you touch it,
filthy.
you make it filthy. It's only for women. Like, oh, dang. Dang. I thought that was
Yes.
intense. I loved this scene. I loved seeing what they were saying totally changed the scene for me.
Incredible how that works.
Crazy how that
Oh.
works. It's like insane how like dialogue like matters.
Yeah. And then we get our little cut of Moraine and Lan.
it's not him.
How does she
We
know?
don't know.
He was born 20 years ago. Almost to the day the prophecy of the dragon reborn predicted. He's able to touch the source.
It's
Seems
not
like
him.
it might be him.
Where next?
The two rivers.
How does she?
There are rumors of Fort Tavir in there.
And
Yeah,
now,
so-
how would you know that?
What does it mean that there are rumors of Ford Tavir in there?
What
Who's
is it?
going
What would
around
that-
like, oh geez, I was down at the Two Rivers the other day and I saw these Ford Tavir in den.
Yeah, I was just thinking, oh, I was in that one town, the one with the Fort Taviran, and I was getting some good Two Rivers tobacco. What the hell?
I didn't know what that meant. I mean, I didn't even think it was necessary, honestly, but whatever. It's some
That-
clunky exposition.
That's a quibble of mine. They definitely do not know they're Taviran, and they definitely do not know there's 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
It's insane.
There are like supposed to be like maybe 1 Taviran in the world at a time ever. And there's just rumors that 4 of them are in a town. How would they know that?
How would they know who's telling that? It's very unclear.
How would they know that?
It does mean canonically Egwene is a Taviran, which is
Which I
fine.
love.
I don't think it's as big of a like. I've seen people like, oh, it ruins her arc. We can talk about that later, another time, whatever.
And we will. We should have a whole Egwene as Taviran art show. We should. Otherwise, I love this scene. I love their interaction. I love how Lan helps her up onto the horse and then spreads her cloak out for her. It's just so casual.
And then I absolutely love this
one of my
part.
favorite shots in the whole 3 episodes.
And I missed this the first time I watched it. Or I might not even have seen this scene, actually, now that I think about it. But these
I
are
don't know
like
if you'd come back yet.
These are Dagnab skyscrapers.
And you know what I didn't remember? How slow of a reveal it is. For the first like 5 seconds, it just looks like mountains, and then all of a sudden you realize they're skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And
it's
how
very
much
cool.
does that remind you of like the descriptions of Ruidian or the descriptions of the towers of the Age of Legends that we see in the flashbacks? Like they're just skyscrapers. I think this is so gorgeous.
It's really great.
Really
Um,
beautiful.
okay, let's move on because we've only got like 30 minutes to talk about each episode.
Yeah, let's.
Um, so then we cut from this to watching Egwene get her hair braided, where
Mm-hmm.
we learn some interesting things.
Be a part of you. To be a woman is to be always alone.
To be a woman is to be always alone. I don't know. That's such a weird line. This
Yeah.
beautiful shot. The shots of them like hiking up to this scene are beautiful. All the
Mm-hmm.
landscapes in this show are incredibly beautiful. It's
Mm-hmm. So you're a
Be a
woman.
part of you.
You're
To
alone,
be a
right?
woman is to be
Just
always alone.
always alone.
oh, I mean, yeah, but I'm also clinically depressed. Uh,
Oh, right. Same. That's fun.
To be a woman is to be always alone.
anyway, it's very unimportant. Uh, let's
But
move on.
that line did make us both go like
What?
in the theater. Huh? I guess. I guess it's something about responsibility or whatever.
Be strong, Egwene.
Then, of course, this is the big trailer scene.
Trust the river.
Trust the river.
So she gets
Love
pushed off
it.
the cliff. Oh, and then what I skipped
Yeet!
is they say like, "Welcome to the women's circle." So Egwene is either the women's circle is every woman in Emond's Field, or Egwene is being added to the women's circle right upon getting her hair braided, which is like good for you, Egwene.
Well, wow. Yeah, she's always been ambitious, hasn't she? She wants to be the best water carrier the Two Rivers has ever seen. She's gonna be it all, baby.
But this is like a vicious freaking coming of age ceremony, and
It's
Mary Lou
pretty
and I talked
gnarly.
about this a little bit. They got to be killing like 10% at least of their women in this town, right?
Yeah.
Like
I
people are
think
drowning.
that's why they're so freaking tough, baby. If you can't handle the freaking river, you die.
You die. Yep. And increasingly, I'm seeing this as a metaphor from my own experience watching the show.
I can't hear you over the
Oh,
volume.
oh, you
Sorry, of
can't
the
hear me over Egwene drowning.
not even a
Oh,
little bit.
I was saying increasingly, I'm seeing this whole scene as a metaphor from my own experience watching the show, and I have to stop fighting, and I just have to surrender.
Just surrender. Just surrender, Sarah.
I just have
Let it
to.
take you where it's going to
There we
take you.
go. I just have
Sometimes at
to.
the beginning, it's going to be rough. You
Yep.
might
And
feel like fighting it.
here we are. I successfully didn't drown.
I'm so proud of
Um.
you.
Okay. Well, so that happened. We knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We get to see the boys in the inn. They're all
Boys in the
chipper
inn.
chattery. Matt loses a lot of monies. Steals a
Yikes.
bracelet. So that's the official change. Matt is a thief in this one.
Yikes.
Uh, we get that whole scene, the wine springing clip. We've all seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Um, you know how we like hoped that Land's entrance in the Wine Spring Inn clip would like make a little more sense in context? It
yeah,
doesn't. It's just as goofy.
it's just as goofy. We
It's
hoped it
super
would.
goofy.
Is very goofers.
It's super goofy. It feels like a western. It feels like a cowboy. He comes in and he stands there like this, like
Yeah, it's wild.
it's really funny. It's over very quick. It's nothing. You guys know we're just gonna poke fun because we love it so much.
Yeah, we
It
get this
is
whole scene.
Goof City. The clip. I laughed out loud.
Oh no, this isn't my clip. Oh, just yeah.
No.
This is nuts. So
This shot, right? Here.
how long is this? How long is he just gonna stand there?
He
What
just
is Land
stands
doing?
there. He just stands there like that.
It's a long time to just sit there.
And like,
Um,
how can he see? His hood is so far down over his eyes.
why
Anyway,
is he
whatever.
doing this? It makes no sense. I did love the memes when this first came out.
It's hilarious. And it
Uh,
makes sense as to why Nynaeve would be like, name yourself, stranger. Why are you standing there like a weirdo?
Part of me thinks it could have been cool if they hadn't shot it from this angle where we could just get to see him standing there like a doofus.
Like a dude. It's a very funny angle. And I laughed aloud when I saw it
I
in the
laughed out
theater.
loud in the theater.
And you guys, I am a super forgiving watcher. Like I'm obsessed and I will forgive almost anything they do, but that shot was hilarious. Hilarious. Anyway, we're
Okay.
moving on.
We're moving on. So then, let's see if I can find the right clip.
I don't
Because
know if my notes are in perfect order.
oh, oh, oh yeah.
Ooh,
A little sexy.
yeah!
Okay, so this is when Rand and Egwene fuck in the Wine Spring Inn kitchen.
They fuck in the kitchen, maybe on the ground of the inn. Like, we know that from the clips from when they're naked or whatever, but like to see it, they're just like doing dishes. And Marin's like, let's give them some privacy to do the dishes, when really she means do each other on the sink.
Did
It
she mean
is,
that? I guess she did.
yes,
They're just like
yes.
fucking right there next to all of the inn's dishes. I don't know. If I were a patron of the Wine Spring Inn, I'd be like, someone call
Did someone
uh,
just have sex on my
health
plate?
inspectors.
Like, what? It's so funny. Is it hot? Absolutely. Are they good looking? Quite very. It's also funny.
Yes, it's very funny.
And speaking of sexy, here we go. Okay, guys, you remember all the times they told us that Lan and Warren's relationship is so platonic and they're so close, but there's nothing sexual about it?
Nothing sexual at all.
Then why do they have this hot ass hot tub scene?
It's a strange choice. Like
I mean, that booty is delicious.
we understand in theory that hey, if they can bathe together, that's an indication of how not sexual their relationship is. This is
And
just
I
a
mean,
platonic bath between buds.
obviously, they've been working together for what, 20 years? They've been on the road. Like, of course, they've had to take baths together. Maybe this is the only bath that inns have, Makes total sense. But then you keep watching, and the fuck, they are so sensuous.
They're extremely sensuous. The
Look at
chemistry
them.
between Rosamund Pike and Daniel Henney is palpable.
I'm impressed they have this at all.
Give me what?
Look at these
Look
smiles,
at that
these
look.
bedroom eyes. Look at that.
Guys,
If
they're
Daniel Henney
trying
ever looked at me like that, I would die.
instantly burst into flames. Like, and this look from Rosamund? Are you crazy?
This is
I
some
am feeling
sexy
things I've
shit.
never felt before. Like, so I know what they were trying to do with the scene, and it did the absolute opposite. This is the
Yeah.
horniest scene I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
This
God.
scene is so horned, and this like very sensuous hand channeling.
And it's just like really. Did this scene need to be in here? Like, if their whole goal is to like be
Better?
very clear that
Much.
this is a platonic relationship, as it is in the marketing.
I get it. I get it. They're trying to be like just two buds chilling, hanging out, enjoying a hot tub. That's
This
not
isn't
what
just two
happens with
buds.
two sexy ass people in a hot tub. That's
Yeah, you
not
just
what it
can't
feels
do
like.
it. You can't do it with Rosamund Pike and Daniel Henney.
That's not
What is it?
possible.
You think it's one of them?
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay, so here they are in the middle of the Wine Spring Inn.
Just in the middle of the end. Just naked as jaybirds.
They
I
have
mean,
their talk.
I do like to see it.
They do their
They
thing.
have a talk.
He
It's
leaves.
awkward.
And then Egwene, so Egwene senses.
What is that?
What's going on? This could be wind? Oh my. If that isn't a Murdral, not but 50 feet away from a
Oh.
warder and an Aes Sedai.
Oh, it's only a Murdral just right outside an open view.
We're being very critical. I feel us being very critical.
You're right. We are
There's a
being
lot
really
we liked
critical.
about this show.
We liked
It-
so much, you guys.
This was just very silly.
This part
So
is silly. You got to admit, right?
either warders can't sense shadow spawn in this universe of the show, or Lan and Moraine are just sitting there like 50 feet from a Murdral and don't notice.
Yeah, and like, I don't know.
I like
He's
his
right
DSLs
there.
though. Look at he's right there.
Very sexy.
He's like right
Could
there.
we have had this clip like of him in the forest or something, and maybe like flights in the distance? I don't know, but he's in like the town square. It's worrisome, or it's confusing.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to something else we have criticisms of.
Well, first,
What's the next clip you have?
let's move on to a good thing. The next clip we have stored up just some
Oh shit.
good old fashioned
Oh man.
Trolloc attack on Winter Night.
Guys, the
Um,
Trolloc attack was really scary.
yeah,
The Trollocs are really scary.
they're very scary. So the Trollocs look fantastic.
The
Love
Trollocs
the
look really good.
Trollocs.
They do. They
Okay.
look legitimately scary. The CGI is not that bad. Is not bad. The
Well, we
balls
got
of flame
suspended
look
on
so
YouTube.
good. Uh-oh.
We're down. We're down on YouTube.
Dang.
Well, hello again. We're back now. YouTube killed us because they hate small content creators.
Oopsies.
That's the life. Anyway, where was we? Trolloc
We-
Attack was dope. Okay,
It was really good.
here's my one little nitpick on the Trolloc Attack, and then we'll get back to the praise.
Yeah.
That scene when Egwene is dancing with Tom or Tim, I don't know that guy's name.
I think it was Tom.
Tom, and then he just gets like stabbed through, and we're like, "Whoa, we got stabbed through!" There's like a giant fucking Trolloc axe in his back. Where did that come from? Because that was before the Trolloc kicked through that wall with the axe.
Yeah.
Uh, just a mysterious axe. Anyway,
Just materialized in his chest. Maybe it was thrown, but like,
you'd think that it was thrown,
huh?
except
From
I don't think the
where?
Trollocs know how to throw weapons.
Oh, but we know for a fact they do
Have
because of the
one.
one thrown weapon in the entire fight is the one that
Yes,
stabs Moraine in the shoulder. The
this
one
is
thrown weapon.
the Trolloc Mary Lou and I have dubbed Carl. Uh,
Carl.
Carl the Trolloc with the singular throwing knife in the entire Trolloc army.
And he's only got
Okay,
one.
but the Trollocs look fucking great. When they came in during that lovely little Beltane dance, and
Mhm.
they came in and they started killing people, we were like, "What?"
The whole theater, guys, I wish you could have been there. The whole theater was like, ah! It was
Yeah,
legitimately shocking, legitimately so scary. Really, really scary.
yeah.
Great scene.
They looked fantastic. I love the way the Trollocs move and look. Definitely a step up from those early Trollocs people were very pessimistic about, including myself.
Including me, yeah.
Um,
They looked
I
great.
I love the Trollocs that run on all fours.
Oh my god, you guys. I think the first time we see a Trolloc on all fours actually is in episode 2 when they're
We don't see
chasing
it in.
them.
I thought we saw him like running around in episode 1.
Oh, maybe that's true. I guess the frame that I'm seeing in my mind is when they're running through the forest in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
very
yeah,
beginning of episode 2, and there's just one that's like, "Rah, rah, rah." It's so scary.
yeah.
Trollocs on all fours. I never pictured it. Like I never thought about it that way, but it makes sense. And when I saw it, I was like, ah, it's really
Yeah.
scary.
So the Trollocs were fucking great. Like
Yeah,
my favorite part of episode 1, hands down. The whole winter night scene was incredible. Like super
terrific.
impactful. I thought the
Love the
action
way
was good.
The way that Lan and Moraine fight together. I mean, this has been commented on time and time again, but it deserves it because it's really cool the way they sort of dance together and always back to
Yeah.
back. Um,
I
it's
think
it's
it's cool.
beautiful.
Like one of my favorite shots of the episode is when like Lan goes to hit the Trolloc and Moraine just ducks down under his sword. That's so good. I'm not
Legitimately
like sold on
cool.
all of Rosamund's choices of movement when it comes to channeling.
It's
But I like
not my 100% favorite.
it's I'll just say it's not necessarily what I ever imagined. Some of
It's
it to
not
me,
what I imagined.
I appreciate that she's taken swings and given her
Big
all,
swings.
which,
Taking really big swings, which I like.
that's great.
I would rather it be too much than not enough.
At least on that.
Um, yeah, sure.
um,
Great
so
point.
that was fantastic. Mary Lou, you wanted to talk about the hard work to do.
Yeah, so this is the moment that happens. This is the day before um Winter Night. This is the day before the attack on Winter Night. And Moraine is staring, importantly through a window and says to Lan, "We both have work to do today." And then what happens that day is that Lan sees some dead sheep
Yeah,
and Moiraine has a 2-minute conversation with Nynaeve, and she like stares importantly at Egwene from across a forest. And that's
Don't
it.
forget, she also stares importantly at Rand, Mat, and Perrin from inside the inn.
Sorry. Thank you so
So
much for pointing that out. Yeah, I don't mean to belittle her efforts there. Thank you.
She does a lot of
Um,
important staring.
a lot of important staring. And I'm like, girl, use your words. Like, let's communicate here. Because I really liked, we talked about the scene with Nynaeve. I really liked it. I thought that it was showing how Moiraine was like sort of slyly investigating into their pasts. And that's how we found out about Nynaeve's origin, which is different from the books, right? She was an
Yeah.
orphan baby raised by the old wisdom who was, and this is what's shocking to us, turned away from the White Tower
Yeah.
because she was poor
It's
and
good.
a peasant.
It's confusing for a few reasons. Yeah, it's that the Aes Sedai would turn away anyone who could channel is
Because we know
wild.
she could channel. She
And
could listen to the wind.
it's also interesting that she knew apparently at 13 in the Two Rivers that
Or at least
knowing
suspected.
yeah, 'cause she was like she knew she could listen to the wind when she was 13, so she walked to Tar Valon, and it's like why so they know listening to the wind is channeling already? That's an interesting change.
Yeah, Nynaeve knows she's channeling, or she knows it has some connection to
Yeah.
Aes Sedai. Um, that's a change, and the fact that the White Tower would turn a woman away who could channel, that seems like crazy to
It would
me.
be one thing if she were like 29, 30, turned away because they do turn away women who are too old, but a
Too
13-year-old,
old.
I
That
just
doesn't seem too old. Yeah, so I'm interested. I hope we get more there. To me, that story, Sarah, you said this story just leaves me with more questions.
yeah.
It leaves me with more questions. I have faith that maybe someday they will answer them. And I think it would be super interesting to answer these questions, get more from this. But it
Yeah.
did leave me with a lot of questions there.
It's something that's gonna be a common theme going throughout the show where they make changes and um they might make changes for like script reasons or they might be making changes for producers telling them to reasons, who knows.
Hmm.
Um but like why are Nynaeve's parents now dead and she was raised by wisdom rather than being raised by her father who taught her all her woodsman skills? Like it's not clear if that change yet was made for a reason, um, or not.
Right.
So
Yeah, and my guess is they just made this change to give her that story about knowing and loving a woman who was turned away from the White Tower. And like, okay, that's interesting. I'm not 100% sold with this origin story yet, but I'm very interested, very intrigued. Speaking of other origin stories, let's
yeah,
talk about Matt's origin
Matt's
story.
big origin change. So Matt, no longer the son of a successful horse trader, now the son of a ne'er do well, a lecher.
I think he is a horse trader, or maybe Matt was just lying
I
in the
think he
third
was lying.
episode.
I think that was
Okay,
like
good to know.
a fantasy, like a little.
I love
Anyway, we'll
that.
get to that in episode 3.
Amazing.
Um,
Yeah, he's the son of a ne'er-do-well, philandering, deadbeat and a drunk, abusive mom, and
yeah.
the surrogate parent to two very innocent, much younger twin sisters.
Where the
This was a
girls?
huge change. Where are the girls? I loved that scene. Okay, hold on, Sarah.
Yes.
I need to talk about Barney.
Okay, please.
Viewers of our channel will know I had thoughts on Barney
We both did.
Harris.
We shared
We both
thoughts.
did. We both did. We shared them. You were just better about being diplomatic about it, and I was not, right? I got bad vibes from Barney from second one until the last second, and I said it. And I'm not going to apologize for it because I still stand by it, right? I got the vibes that I got. However, Barney is terrific. You
Yeah.
guys, he is so talented and he is a incredible Matt for the Matt that they have created.
Yeah, he's really good. For the character he's playing it super well. He is definitely like the best actor of the the four to Viren.
I agree. Of the four Taviran, he is oof. It feels like head and shoulders above.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll stay that way, right?
I doubt
Like
it will. They're
because
growing.
they're
And
growing and he just got
oh,
some really good stuff, right? In this
Mary
first
Lou, the
episode.
thing is, I know for a fact it won't stay that way. It's very sad. Um,
Sad. I'm really sad about that now. I was kind of stoked about it because I was like, whatever. I don't know if I like this Barney guy anyway. But after seeing his performance, you guys, he's my favorite. He's
he's
my
so
favorite
good.
performance of definitely the first episode. And most of the rest of them, he's terrific. So
Yeah.
I just want to say that he's
Barney,
awesome.
because we know you're watching.
Barney, I don't
I hope everything's
apologize,
okay with you.
but
You did fantastic job so far.
you did fantastic, and I'm honestly pretty disappointed that we won't get more of him because he's terrific in at
Yeah.
least these first 3 episodes. Anyway, so that origin story, Matt's origin story, I'm 100% fully on board for it. It changes things, but
I
I
will say
am diggity down.
I am slowly coming around to it just on the weight of Barney Harris's performance in that role. And also what we see from it in episode 3, but this is an episode 1 review. When we first saw the news that Abel Cawthon was being turned into like a lecher before the show came out, I was full Team Abel. I still love Team Abel. I like that character, but
Well, yeah, he's great in
he's
the
kind of
books.
a repeat of Tam. He's not really needed, I guess. So like this is a change I can definitely get behind. Like I am not closed off to this change by any means. Now, a change I'm much less convinced by, Mary Lou.
Uh-oh, you guys, here we go.
Change I'm much less convinced by.
And you're not alone. Not even in this stream.
What's going on with Layla?
Layla. We
What
got to
what
talk
is this
about Layla.
choice?
We got to talk
Okay.
about Layla. So,
First, I
the
do want to pat
good.
myself on the back.
Oh,
I'm going to allow myself a
guys.
moment of patting myself on the back because when Mary Lou and I first talked about this possibility that Perrin was married weeks and weeks ago,
It's
I was
true.
like, what if they have Perrin go in like a violent rage during winter night and accidentally kill his wife, and that's why he's afraid of his violent tendencies. And y'all,
Ding, ding, ding,
that
ding, 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 ding,
that
ding,
doesn't
ding,
be
ding,
what they
ding,
done
ding, ding,
did.
ding. Yeah. So, give Sarah her roses, give her her props. Like we should put that clip into our video because yeah, she nailed it. Weeks ago she said that. And it's cool in theory, and then we get to the actual implementation of it, and it's a lot.
It's hard. It's an incredible. So Mary Lou and I have talked about this a lot since
A lot.
Monday. It's an incredibly powerful moment in the episode,
Powerful.
like in
In the
terms of
theater,
just emotional impact.
that moment in the theater when he turns around and it happens, the whole theater went
Yeah,
It was shocking.
and I like
Physically, emotionally shocking.
the little bit we get of Layla.
She's badass.
She's a badass. I love her hair. I love her. Just she's just like
Love her
I know she's
muscles working
married to
that forge
Perrin.
alone.
She's
Mm,
married to Perrin, but yeah, just the badass like fucking lesbian blacksmith energy is great.
strong and cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird. At first, I thought she must have hated Egwene because she skipped the women's circle meeting and Egwene's like braiding. But Sarah thought of something more insightful.
I mean, okay, my take on like why wasn't she at the women's circle thing? The scene when Perrin's like, you know, I love you, and she's like, whatever. Um, I just took it as that she'd had like a miscarriage. I don't think we'll ever get confirmation on what happened there. It
No,
feels like a scene that has been cut somewhere along the way
maybe.
that maybe gave context to that moment. Um,
Hmm.
but it's okay because she's dead. Um,
She's super dead now.
and I do want to
Yeah,
engage with one comment, and we said we're not going to engage with comments, but
just one.
I like this take. Rahef thinks that she's a dark friend because when you watch that moment right before Perrin chops her, she does have her hammer raised to bring it down on him.
She
And
does.
that's true. Mary Lou and I noticed that she had her hammer raised as well. I wish I could play the clip, YouTube. Uh,
But it's
I
true. When he turns around and accidentally slashes her, she's standing up like this as if she were going to bring her hammer down right
yeah,
down on him.
but I'm not convinced. I think that was just a weird bit of like scene construction because she saves him from the Trollocs a couple times. Like if she
Yeah.
wanted Perrin, dead, she wanted to crush his head in with a hammer, she could have had Perrin dead.
Yeah, she
Um,
could have just let the Trollocs kill him.
yeah, and also if
But
she were a dark friend, I don't think she would be fighting the Trollocs, and I don't think they'd be fighting her. Like we see Pat and
like
Fane when
Pat
the
and
Trollocs
Fane.
attack. Um,
Whistling and smiling and
so
jangling his wagon away.
I like that idea. I don't think it's going to come true, but hey, who knows? Uh, yeah, it's
S-
weird. I mean, I think what's
That
strange about the decision is I get that they want to accelerate Perrin's journey because Perrin's arc is the most awkward and slow arc of the Emmons Field 5.
slow,
Um,
slow.
and they want to give him more obvious motivation for why he's afraid of his wolf nature,
Right.
right? Um, in
Because we don't get the benefit of his point of view to explain to us why he's
Yeah,
struggling.
I don't think he needed it, and to me, it's just an example of what I see as a broader trend in this show so far of a fear of like subtlety.
Mhm.
Um, I love a lot about the show. I think it looks incredible. I think the actors are great. I do think the show doesn't trust us as viewers to pick up on subtle things, to pick up on arcs. Like it really wants to hit us over the head with shit, like giving us that obvious naive backstory for why she hates Aes Sedai instead of trusting us to pick up on the fact that, oh, she seems to hate Aes Sedai. Maybe we'll find out more about that. Um, it has to show us like this like vivid example why Perrin is afraid of his violent nature. Like it wants everything to be very obvious, at least so far.
Yeah, and I think we're really seeing that in these first couple episodes because they have to lay so much pipe and lay so much groundwork for us and the new viewers that it's getting a little heavy-handed. But
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully they lose that. But
Yeah.
as we'll see in our discussions of episodes 2 and 3, it's definitely something that comes back, pops up again and again.
Yeah.
Um, but that's
Like
pretty much episode 1, man.
like the Layla thing. Yeah, that's pretty much episode 1. Oh, there's one other big part of episode 1.
What?
The part where Moiraine is like, "You four have to come with me," and then cut to they're going with her.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, Rand does say like, "You expect us just to go with you?" And
And
then
then
it's like a
they just
sitcom like
do.
mash cut like yeah, she's like, "We have to go. The army's coming."
I thought
And
that was the
it's
beginning of second episode, but I'm smashing them together in my
it's
mind.
episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um
It
it's
would have been cooler in episode 2. Would have been cooler if it was.
would have been.
Um,
I think most
because
Mhm.
as we said when we first saw it, it seems improbable that the two rivers folk, the Eamon's Fielders, would let them go so easily,
Yeah, they
right?
wouldn't, right? But
Marin would be like, hell no, you're not taking my baby. I don't think so. Like Matt would be like, I can't leave the girls. Like they'd fight it a little more, right? But instead, Lan and Maureen just go, you have to come with us. And they go, okay. And then 5 seconds later, they're off.
yeah, like they don't even say goodbye. Like Rand never talks to Tam. He just
Rand
like
never talks
has
to
Tam's
Tam.
sword.
Yeah.
There's no
What?
discussion about that.
When does
Uh,
he get the sword?
well, he gets the sword after I assume when he's like bringing Tam to the two
Right, because he's
rivers,
got it on his hip when
but
Tam
he
is
just
on
keeps
Bella.
it.
He just keeps
Um,
it and leaves with it, and Tam doesn't
and
say anything about it.
I get
Matt
that
doesn't hug his tiny girl sisters goodbye, like nothing.
yeah, I get that they're all in shock. Um, but it's just when you listen to the interview that plays after every Audible book, the interview with Robert Jordan, one of the things he says in that 6-minute interview is like, "Well, I wanted to tell a story like, in my experience, if you just tell country folk that they're the chosen one and they have to go, they're not just going to say okay, they're going to fight it." And they didn't.
But then they didn't.
I just
And
wanted
really,
like
really,
yeah,
really
just a couple
fast. Can you
minutes.
highlight Marisu's comment, laying lots of pipe? I'm so sorry. That's a
I think
screenwriting term.
yeah, laying lots of foundation is maybe the
That's what it means, but that's a screenwriting term. Laying pipe is like when you're
it's like when Lan and Moraine are in a hot tub together. Um,
Oh, that's a different kind of pipe, but yeah, sorry, that is a suggestive term, but that is what it means, and I swear I'm not
Yeah.
making it up.
Um, I feel like, and Marilyn and I have had a lot of talks about this as well, like how to critique the episodes without like critiquing the writers as individuals.
Right.
Because we haven't seen the first draft of the script, and I'm like positive there are drafts of this script out there that are better than what we saw before the producers got their hands
Before
on it.
network insisted
Yeah,
on you have to do this, I
exactly.
need this, I want a sexy
Um,
hot tub scene,
yeah,
you know?
so like I'm sure that there are those scenes that exist in some form out there. Talks between Rand and Tam, talks with them and their family. I would have even just been happy with a montage of them, like, at least hugging their loved ones goodbye,
Right.
like, while Moraine gives her whole, like, "It wasn't the beginning" speech. I don't know, it was just weird, and I think, like, the complaints about the pacing in the first couple episodes, that's what I think of explicitly.
That
That cut,
moment,
that's such a weird moment.
it bumped for me. It for sure bumped.
Yeah,
And yeah, so the pacing in that up in for episode 1, it is breakneck. And I do think there are some ways they could have improved on that.
yeah.
Not fixed it. I think it's impossible to fix. It just is going to be
Well, it's never
breakneck.
gonna be perfect.
And it's never going to be perfect. And it was always going to be just too fast for this story. We had only an hour, which is a whole nother discussion. Sarah and I agree. A lot of problems would have been solved by just like adding 10 or 15 minutes to the
Yeah.
show. Why wouldn't you? It's a streaming platform. It's not airing on television. Why can't you just
Just add 10
lengthen the
minutes.
episode?
Makes
Whatever.
no sense.
Makes no sense. But like it was never going to be perfect. It was always going to be breakneck. But I do think they could have improved on that moment specifically, just like
Yeah,
Sarah just said.
just the impact of it, and I see people in chat saying like, "Well, they left because the army was coming. They wanted to save their town." Like, of course. So we understand that that's why they would ultimately leave.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And Balance makes a great point that it feels it maybe it was an intentional cut and it's something that will get filled in later, right? With
I hope
flashbacks or
so.
something. I sure hope so because
Yeah,
it for sure bumped. But anyway, that's episode 1. Did we have quibbles? Clearly, you just listened to
yeah,
all of them. But
yeah.
I
We
loved it.
definitely like have things we would have done differently if we got that sort of input. But overall, just like the look of everything is so good.
It's so
Um,
beautiful, you guys. The colors. How many dramas? Somebody posted today on Twitter that I saw a side by side of Dexter season 1 and Dexter Reborn, or
yeah,
the Dexter Reborn, the Dexter new season that's just coming out. The difference, and Dexter season 1 is like bright and colorful and crisp, and Dexter season 2 is gray,
yeah, it's gross.
green, sludgy, taupe, and that's like all drama is now, is like this like taupey gray
Yeah.
sludgy filters. Not our show, baby.
Yeah, I love the color. I love the color.
Beautiful,
That's great.
bright.
If you are watching this review having just watched episode 1 and you haven't watched episodes 2 and 3 yet, first of all, interesting choice. Second of all, um, I found myself panicking after I watched the first 2 episodes because the more I thought about it, the more I like did not necessarily trust the direction the show is going.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3 has done a lot to help that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I might start panicking soon anyway. But that's just because I have an anxiety disorder.
Sure, sure,
Um,
sure.
but anyway, I thought overall, like, episode 1 is not a perfect episode of television. It is far from the best pilot of a show I've ever seen. I thought Arcane had a much better pilot, for
Oh,
example.
guys, maybe we need to
We'll
add
do an Arcane
Arcane to
review.
our. You were
But
gonna do
uh,
Arcane
um,
another time.
But it did, like, at least episode 1 reveals the some of the acting's really phenomenal. The set pieces are so good. I think the action is good. Some of the CGI is a little clunky, but I think the Trollocs look great. And I think what episode 1 it does do is reveal potential for what the show could become. Um, and for that, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
I can tell you that I was euphoric
Yeah.
watching it.
Oh,
I
it's an
was
incredible show to watch.
just out of my body, so happy, so excited. Are we being critical? Yes. Do we have the experience and the chops to criticize it? Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And are we going to do it regardless? Absolutely.
yes. Uh, yeah. I mean, like a lot of you, we've been imagining these scenes for a long time. Like, I've been reading this series since I was 14, and these characters in places feel very real to me in ways that I didn't really understand the extent to which like I had things in my head until the experience of watching things on screen and seeing them being different.
Mhm.
Um, and it's an experience. Uh, and I think to get back to that river, we can fight it and drown, or we could just ride the wave, baby.
I'm gonna ride it out, baby. I'm gonna ride it out, and I'm gonna come crawling out the other side in a
Yeah.
sheer blue dress and looking gorgeous.
And this has been our review of episode 1. We're also doing reviews of episodes 2 and 3, but if you're just watching episode 1, thank you so much. My name is Sarah Kaplan. You can find me on Twitter at Spear Maidens.
I'm Mary Lou. You can find me at Mary Lou Larry Moo. That's just Mary Lou with the letters switched. And this has been Maidens of the Sphere, where we talk Wheel of Time and we have a really good time.
A really good time.
See you for our review of episode 2.
And also, we'll be doing another review of episode 1 streaming live tomorrow with our very good friend Vic, who has not read the books. So that
She's
will
not
be a
read it.
spoiler-free review from someone who hasn't read the books, coming in with a lot less baggage. And if you're interested to see what that experience is like, I know I am, come join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST.
Gonna be super fun.